Today on Judge Mom.
You're here suing your former best friend.
I've been a pillar of the LARPing community for the last 20 years. He's a little sabotaging troll.
He drove us into failure.
You built a group. It was called the Lore Masters.
Live action role-playing.
Are there costumes?
We were dressed like wizards, like lords.
He decided to take my intellectual secrets and make his own competing group. Elliot started taking the moves from my group. You cut up, you cut down, and then you thrust right there.
Not even for him, it's a thrust.
Elliot, we tried that before. I've already knocked you on your forehead.
Enough. This is going to be an exciting case, Delgado.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Sandy presiding. Your Honor, this case is Morris versus Underwood.
Thank you, Bailiff Delgado. Mr. Morris, you're here suing your former best friend for defamation and theft of intellectual property. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Underwood, you're here today and you are telling me that you owe him nothing, that these are false claims, and I shouldn't award him a single cent, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, Mr. Morris, tell me why you're here today.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, my name is Jonah Morris. I've been a pillar of the LARPing community for the last 20 years. I am suing Mr. Underwood, Elliot, for the amount of $25,000. His crimes being defamation, theft of intellectual property, and if that is a crime, Your Honor, sabotage, because he is a little sabotaging troll.
Wow, so this is going to be an exciting case, Delgado. Sir, what do you have to say?
Yes, Your Honor. I owe Mr. Underwood nothing. I was frustrated with his attitude and his overbearing personality. He is a narcissist. He drove us into failure, and he is here jealous because I started my own group that is far more successful than anything he's done.
No, you stole your own group, Elliot, okay? You can't just take somebody else's group and make your own product, okay?
He is a sore loser, and I owe him nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Underwood. Mr. Morris.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you walk me through slowly, very slowly, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
What LARPing is? Let me ask Bailiff Delgado, do you know what LARPing is?
No.
I don't either. So you're going to have to very carefully walk me through this so I can understand why there's a disagreement here.
LARPing is basically fantasy creation. We create scenarios right in front of you. Let's say, for example, you're in this courtroom. Well, let's turn it into a palace. You could be a princess.
I love it.
You could have your knight saving you. What if you want to be the knight that saves him?
So it's like you're role-playing, like...
You're making a fantasy come to life. That's what live action role-playing is. We take the role-playing, the tabletop part, nobody likes that. That's nerd stuff, that's boring stuff, but we make it live action, visceral,
and you dress up? Are there costumes?
We have full costumes, Your Honor. Sometimes it can be as detailed as a regalia of Queen Elizabeth. It's full decked out costumes. People sometimes put their whole careers into making those costumes, Your Honor.
But, okay, so now I understand what LARPing is. Do you have a group? Is it a community? Is this a hobby?
Well, Your Honor.
Tell me about how you formed or how you became part of this LARPing community.
Your Honor, I've known him for 20 years, and we got into live action role-playing when we were kids. It was an escape, but it was something new, something different.
Okay.
Over the years, I built up a group, the Lore Masters.
We built up a group.
Okay, so you got to where I wanted you to get to.
Okay.
You built a group. It was called the Lore Masters.
I built a group called the Lore Masters.
He just said you both built a group called the Lore Masters.
No, he followed along because he didn't want to take any of the organizational work that was necessary to build up a group. He didn't want to file for
Let me hear from Mr. Underwood as to this organization or this group, let's call it.
Well, I would say the issues with Mr. Elliot began during the Mythic Gauntlet games, Your Honor. And the issue was because he was too much of a control freak and kept leading us into failure. Since we were kids, Your Honor, we started this group, we were both very committed. He was always the control freak, the leader, telling us how to dress, telling us how to behave. And the issues began because he kept trying to take over the group, trying to be a nefarious leader, a dictator, telling us how to live our life, and he drove us into failure. And at the Mythic Gauntlet games, I had enough. There was no need for us to argue anymore. We differentiated on different ways to go about it, and I separated him from my own group, and he considers that defamation.
Games. Can you give me, I want a picture in my head. I like to paint pretty pictures in my head. Tell me what these games were like. Can you describe what that particular game was like and what went wrong?
Yes,
what made you have enough?
We built something great. There were over 50 people from all over the nation coming in.
How were you dressed?
Oh, we were dressed like wizards, like lords, like princesses, like queens, like kings, like anything you can imagine from a vast universe of imagination.
And what was supposed to happen in this game or competition?
We were supposed to pretend to be these characters and try these different moves on each other and really immerse ourselves in this reality where we were something not of this earth. Something from our fantasies, from stories.
Did you bring any evidence that I can look at so I can have an idea of what these games are like?
Your Honor, I submitted that evidence, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. The Mythic Gauntlet Games was, in fact, going to be the first time we were going to compete nationally. If it was up to Elliot, we would be a little tiny group in a basement, okay?
Big time national competitions?
It was my leadership that brought us from being a local to a municipal to a tri-county to finally a state group to finally a national group. Your Honor, we had a following, we were building it up. The problem was...
Wait, before we get to the problem, can I see the evidence?
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
Right. There, you see that? You see that, Honor? Okay. This is what
that's really intense.
This is what these events are about, Your Honor, okay? Fantasy, men, women on horseback, and completely gender fluid. I mean, you could be, a man night, it could be a woman night. It doesn't matter. It's all about the fantasy, Your Honor, and making it come alive in front of you.
I see
That's what leadership does. That's what vision does. That's what this man doesn't have. All he knows how to do is steal.
We're not here to scream at him. You're here to talk to me. I'm trying to absorb this and appreciate what you do and what you two have built together. And I'm starting to get an idea for this. But now I want to know from Mr. Underwood what went wrong at these games, because that's apparently where your trouble started. Why do you believe that Mr. Underwood was sabotaging you?
Elliot started taking the moves from my group, okay? The Dragon's Fury Thrust.
The Dragon's Fury Thrust.
Dragon's Fury. Look him up and down. Then you cut up, you cut down, and then you thrust right there.
Not even for him, it's a thrust.
We tried that before. I've already knocked you on your forehead.
Introducing Mistakes by Nosey, the mobile gaming story app that puts you in control of your own thrilling adventure. With Mistakes by Nosey, immerse yourself in a world of thrilling choices and captivating stories. With hundreds of paths to choose from and new stories added regularly, you'll always have new mistakes to make. Download Mistakes by Nosey and play anytime, anywhere. Mistakes by Nosey, where every choice matters. Search Mistakes by Nosey in the Android and Apple app stores. Download Mistakes by Nosey now.
I want to know from Mr. Underwood what went wrong at these games, because that's apparently where your trouble started.
The MGM was the last straw, Your Honor. We were competing for the win. We had a strategy set, and he didn't want to listen to the rest of us. I was completely done with him leading us into failure. And at the MGM, we had a moment, and we couldn't agree, and I left the team. I couldn't do it anymore.
Now, is this kind of like a last man standing situation?
Yes.
Like a battlefield, last man standing, and the group that has the most men standing wins. All right, I got it. But I want to hear what it is that was so horrible that made you walk away.
The reality, Your Honor, he was too concerned with the glitz and the glamour, and we are here to win. We are not here to just participate. We were competitive. He pushed us in that direction, but in the moment of truth, he cared more about how he looked rather than delivering a result. So I had enough. It was the last straw. I had to leave.
Got it. Mr. Morris, why do you believe that Mr. Underwood was sabotaging you?
Here's the thing, Your Honor, is that it's not just that he had enough, he had to quit. That'd be fine if he just quit, but no, he didn't, Your Honor. He decided instead to take my intellectual secrets and make his own competing group.
Wait. There are intellectual secrets in these games?
Yes, these are in fact intellectual property that I think should be respected by the court as such. I mean, if that's okay. Your Honor, the thing is that, for example, right, right then and there, Elliot started taking the moves from my group, okay?
Give me one move that you're particularly offended, extremely offended by, that Mr. Underwood has copied.
Your Honor, the thing is that he's taken all of our moves and copied it. You saw in the pageantry
we're not
right
gonna
there.
go through
For
all of them,
example,
but give
I
me
have
one.
one move, okay? The Dragon's Fury Thrust, okay?
The
thing is-
Dragon's Fury's Thrust.
Now, the way it works is this. You're on the field, right?
All right,
And all of a sudden,
come a little bit more this way. I'd like to see
you approach
move.
the enemy right there. Dragon's Fury, look him up and down. Then you cut up, you cut down, and then you thrust right there
Not even
in
how
the
you do
middle.
it. You cut up, you cut down,
No, Elliot,
and then
that's
you
not gonna
thrust
work.
from
Elliot,
the
that's
hip.
not gonna work.
From
No,
the hip.
Elliot.
You thrust
It's
from the hip. It's a thrust from the
Elliot,
hip.
we tried that
Mr.
before. I've already
Mr.
knocked you on your
Underwood,
forward.
enough. I was asking him to show me his moves. You'll have your opportunity. This is the Dragon's Fury Thrust.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Underwood, what is your move that he is accusing you of having stolen?
My much better move, way better executed, is called the Trickster's Tripwire.
Your Honor, can we see it right there?
It's like a tongue
It puts
twister.
to shame
I don't think I can
the
repeat
Dragon's
that.
Thrust. Puts to shame thrust from the hip.
Your Honor, look at this.
From
Exact
the
same
hip.
thing. Is it? I'm sorry. Is it? What is this
From the
copyrightable?
hip.
Off a thrust
Mr.
hit?
Right
I'm
here.
sorry. What is
Mr.
this?
Right
How is this going to
Your
be
form
behaved?
is so bad.
Your Honor is right there.
And
The
this
elephant
is why we
hand.
fail.
That's why you failed?
This is why we fail.
Is this
because
a move only
he
be-
just cares about the glamour,
So-
not execution.
This is why he
not
backed up.
execution.
I'm sorry. This is again. You can't just say this is not yours and it's not mine.
How does this go down? Is this just between 2 people, 3 people? How does this work?
It could be a 10,
group,
20,
10.
50, 100 people.
So what happens if I
We had
put
over
Bailiff
50.
Delgado there in the middle? Bailiff Delgado, go
Well, you
stand in
like the-
between
the-
them.
the-
I want to see how this works.
Here,
go ahead,
come on,
go
we'll
ahead.
show you. We'll show you.
This
Here,
is
I'll
fun.
show him.
He can-
No, I'll
he's
show
gonna
him. I'll
see
show him.
that I have better form.
Here, you're kind of taller than me, so first you turn around. Okay, so then first you stare down the. Oh, you're not the enemy. You
I'm not the
stare
enemy.
down the enemy with your dragon.
Yeah, it's all about looks for
Then
you.
you
huh?
swipe up. Then you swipe down, and then you thrust.
Sir,
thrust.
sir,
is
keep your back
here.
straight. He doesn't
And
know what
watch
he's doing.
him
Right here,
bleed.
right here,
Bleed.
right here,
Like
right
a
here.
pig.
Gentlemen, this is bordering on assault of Bailiff Delgado. Can you please return to your spot and thank you? I now have a full visual, but I gotta tell you something. Those moves look exactly the same to me. And legally, you can't copyright these moves, gentlemen.
It's not just that, Your Honor. Also, too, we had a fight at the Mythic Gauntlet Games, like I said. I figured give Elliot some space. It's happened before. Let him cool down, and it'll be fine. But no, 2 weeks later after I fight, what do I find on the internet?
What do you find?
An ad for a competing group for live-action role-playing that's in fact insulting me.
How is it insulting you?
Your Honor, I've submitted that tape as evidence if you'd like to see the ad.
I would. And Mr. Underwood, do you have anything to say before I take a look at this?
The Wizarding Warband did not defame him
What
in
kind of a
any
name
way.
is that? The Wizarding Warband. Okay, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Morris, that's
It's a
not
theme
for
park
you to
name.
decide.
We just want to offer a
stupid.
safe space for intellectual LARPers, people that actually want to move
You
the
mean
space
intellectual
forward,
thieves.
space
Okay,
to
let me take a
perform
look at
and
the
to do their
evidence.
activities without a nefarious leader.
Thank you. Let me look at the ad. Any LARPer out there who wants to be in a league without their leader being out on the battlefield looking for attention and glory, come to the Wizarding Warband. Is that your group,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am,
Underwood?
the far superior Wizarding Warband.
Your Honor, he's poaching my members.
That's a great point, and I'm going to give you that one. 1 point for this team.
And I've brought a witness, his ex-girlfriend.
He has to bring my ex-girlfriend in. I'm sorry, what is that? Am I a public figure now? Am I any
Maybe a
major...
legend in your own mind. I don't know, Mr. Morris.
As you can see, Jonah is very difficult to work with. We are dealing with someone who is very narcissistic, a little bit misogynistic.
Your Honor, he's poaching my members.
That's a great point, and I'm going to give you that one. 1 point for this team.
Thank you.
Is there a rule on poaching? Is there a non-compete clause I'm missing? Is there something I'm missing?
Your Honor, it is unethical. It's completely unethical behavior.
What do you have to say about that, Mr. Underwood?
We're not participating in any unethical behavior. We are just
Oh, come on,
offering a
Elliot.
better
Okay, you didn't
space-
know what was going on.
offering a better
Speak.
space for all of the people that want to LARP and not care about what their image is like or what others think. We want to win, we want to compete, we want to participate in moves that actually are done
Your Honor,
correctly.
and look, this is the kind of things I'm talking about. A safe space. What exactly dangerous environment did I create? It's not only that, Your Honor. I go onto the message boards. All of a sudden, I start finding postings that's defaming my character.
How?
Okay, it's talking about things about that me being jealous, vindictive, petty, naming
I
me
mentioned
specific.
nothing of such. He thinks everything's
Your
about
Honor,
him.
it's right there.
He
I
thinks
submitted the
world
evidence,
revolves
okay?
around
You'll
him.
see it right there, printed in
I'm
black
going
and
to take
white.
a look. I'm having a hard time believing you right now, Mr. Underwood. So let me take a look and judge for myself what's going on here. The Lore Master's days are numbered. This is very ominous. He's been bribing officials for years. So now you're being accused of unethical behavior.
What officials? Your Honor, it's not even a sport that's governed by any body.
Let's see. Jonah Morris is the biggest fake and cheater in LARPing history.
Yeah, he's done
Mr.
that all
Underwood,
to
now
himself.
you're calling him by name.
I didn't post that.
Thank
You were doing great until that last message I read.
Your Honor, I didn't
You
post that.
were cruising. But now I want very clear and convincing evidence that this was not you.
The thing is, Your Honor, the things he's accusing me of, he's done to himself. And I've brought a witness, his girlfriend, that's going to testify to everything, what he's done and things that I have not done. Because
Okay.
I did not post those message boards.
That would be
I did
really
not do
helpful
that.
for your case.
Yes, ma'am.
So who are we calling, Mr. Underwood?
Her name is Tatiana Ramirez. She's his ex-girlfriend.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, and once again, he has to bring my ex-girlfriend into promoting his business. I'm sorry, what is that? Am I a public figure now? Am I any
Maybe a
major...
legend in your own mind. I don't know, Mr. Morris, but all I'm going to do is ask you both to be very quiet while our witness comes in. I want to hear from her.
Yes, Your
I
Honor.
want to hear every detail she wants to tell me about this LARPing community and the reason why there was a division between the original group stemming from yourself, Mr. Morris, and Mr. Underwood.
Thank you.
So I am going to ask Ms. Ramirez to please step into the courtroom.
You heard she said quiet?
Ms. Ramirez, that's not a great way to start, I got to tell you. I'd like to hear from you. How do you know these gentlemen?
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Tatiana Ramirez. Thank you for having me today. I'm here as a witness on behalf of Elliot.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
And as you can see, Jonah is very difficult to work with. We are dealing with someone who is very narcissistic and, as you can see, a little bit misogynistic. Anyways, I'm here to talk about Elliot on his behalf and the messages you see here today. I have evidence that shows that these are not from Elliot. These are not posted by him. He's not speaking about him. He's not even mentioned Jonah's name in those messages. So,
But before I look at any evidence, what happened at these games? Were you present? Can you tell me what
yeah,
happened?
of course. So there was one called the Goblin Gamut Games, and this is when we were all still part of the Lore Masters together. And basically, since Jonah's in charge, he's in charge of submitting all of our paperwork. Everyone's paperwork gets submitted except for Elliot's.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, no, that's not true, okay?
is
Elliot
true.
did not submit his own paperwork, okay? That's...
Wait. Weren't you just, let's rewind. When we started this case, I know it doesn't look like I take copious notes in my mind, but I do. You told me you're the leader. You're the mastermind. You're the one that invented anything. So I'm familiar with the way groups work that have leaders. Most of the time, you should be in charge of submitting the paperwork.
Your Honor, but the thing is that everyone has their own responsibility to submit their own paperwork.
No,
Your
and he
Honor,
told
okay?
us to submit it to him.
Do I tell the IRS that? Is that, I didn't submit Elliot's paperwork because it's, no, it's his own responsibility.
Those are apples and oranges. You're not going to confuse me.
Your Honor,
I
the thing
promise
is,
you.
it's exactly the same thing. Any
You're
kind
a
of paperwork
leader.
that has something
You're
of
the
legal
one
precedent
taking
has
them to
be.
the competition. You're going to reach the international phase, and you can't submit paperwork for one of your members?
Well,
I'm really confused. You're self-sabotaging.
Your Honor,
and
how?
then you're coming in here asking me to hold Mr. Underwood liable for your self-sabotage. I hope that's not what's going
Your
down.
Honor, but the thing is just that they're coming in here together now in this courtroom and they're telling me that they're not a part of this.
I'm the one that makes that determination. I'm going to look at the evidence, and this may not end up pretty for you, Mr. Morris.
That's not right! That's not right, Your Honor!
the foul. Get off my stage.
You're going to reach the international phase, and you can't submit paperwork for one of your members?
Well,
I'm really confused.
But that's his responsibility, Your Honor.
No, that's your responsibility. That's on you.
And you never sent it in, and that was your one job, and you didn't do it. And you got angry and took it out on
Mr.
Mr. Mears, what else have you witnessed?
I also witnessed those message boards that we saw earlier are not anything to do with Elliot. I actually have proof that he has talked to one of his friends to post those for him so that he would have deniability.
So you're doing this to yourself?
Wait, no, I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry. No one is that narcissistic.
You're self-sabotaging.
Your Honor,
and
how?
then you're coming in here asking me to hold Mr. Underwood liable for your self-sabotage. I hope that's not what's going down.
Your Honor,
here.
but the thing is just that they're coming in here together now in this courtroom, and they're telling me that they're not a part of this.
I'm the one that makes that determination. I'm going to look at the evidence, and this may not end up pretty for you, Mr. Morris. Hey, man, I need you to do something for me. Can you post some messages on the forum talking trash about me? I want to seem like Elliot did it.
Your Honor, but
on the top, it says Jonah.
Your Honor, that's completely out of context. That has to do with something else. I can't talk about that because that's my personal health, and I think that I don't have to disclose that to the court.
Out of context? What personal health are we talking about?
Your Honor, I can't discuss a medical condition that I have.
Understood.
With the court,
I'm not asking you to do it.
Protection with the Fifth Amendment to not indict myself. Okay. I
don't
not
know.
Wizard,
Emperor,
not Lord, Emperor.
Your Honor,
He
I'm
thinks
sorry.
he's in charge of everybody and everything.
That's not a crime.
Thank you.
And that's not a legal cause of action.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What is the problem is someone trying to turn it around and play the victim after calling everyone else out for playing the victim when he's the problem. He's the one that's been doing this. He's
Your
the
Honor,
one
I'm
that
sorry.
keeps
She's the same
attacking
type. In fact, when I started to ask her where she was going, she was cheating on me the whole time with Elliot.
Mr. Morris, we're not going there. This is not why we're here. We're here for defamation, and we are here for alleged theft of intellectual property. Ms. Ramirez, thank you for your time. You are dismissed.
Thank you.
I've heard enough. I've seen enough. I have enough evidence to make a ruling, and that's what I'm going to do at this time. So this is what we're doing. I don't find that there is any defamation in this case. Sorry. There is no defamation. There is no theft of intellectual property. This is a hobby, gentlemen. Enjoy your hobby.
Your Honor,
That's an opinion.
It was a career. It was a way of making money. Your Honor, it was a profession. It was a life.
That's not the evidence I have before me, sir. So what I am going to do, just to teach you all a lesson, is I am going to make you both pay court cost for wasting my time, wasting Bailiff Delgado's time, and everybody else's time in listening to this silly argument about who stole whose moves and who has the better group.
It's not.
And this case is done, and you are banned from the LARPing community for 90 days.
Why?
Until you learn
Your
how
Honor,
to play nice.
No, but why?
Yes,
but there's no reason for that. Your Honor.
This court
no,
is
I'm
ruled.
sorry. No, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right, Your Honor. I can't. No! Not why! I didn't ask for that, Your Honor. Please, I'll pay the court costs.